Hi, I realised I forgot to do an intro to this video. So, hi, here I am, hello. I'm making a unicorn puppet. We've made dragon puppets before, but I decided I want to make a unicorn this time. And I've done it, and it's alright. It's alright. I like it, it's cute. I'll put some video in of it before this, probably. But yeah. And I'm gonna make it. So, sorry, okay, let's go. This is a very rough sketch of what I reckon it'll look like. This is my plan. So we're gonna make a unicorn puppet. It's gonna look like a little baby unicorn drum holding type thing. It's gonna move its head. It's gonna be cute. This seems like a weird place to start off because it looks like I've done a lot, but really it's not that much. So basically, these, if you see my little dragon video, this is in the same way that I made the head. They're just different pieces of craft foam cut out and hot glued together, so I did them in different colours so you could see. I've used like 3 different pieces on either side to give that kind of more shape to it. The back is a bit flatter because that's going to lie flat against my body, so I didn't want that to stick out too much, and I did that with the back piece. See, this side is kind of more curved out and this one's more flat. And it's just hollow on the inside. I just drew out the pieces onto paper, kind of found a size and shape I was happy with, and then cut them onto craft foam. And they're literally just hot glued at the seams, and then because I don't think that's going to be very secure, I'm just gluing bits of fabric over the seams, and that should make them more secure. I've also not glued down the bottom yet. I've just got it taped on there because I think that's going to be the last piece that I glue on, just because I want to be able to get inside there easier so I can like mess around with stuff if anything needs changing. Also, this side I've cut at an angle because my arm's going to go kind of in here, my elbow's going to rest kind of in this bit here. I don't think I can show it properly, but that's why it's cut at a bit of an angle. So that's basically what's going on for now. It's a lot of trial and error. Okay, I've made the head now of my unicorn. So here he is. Again, I feel like I've not filmed very much of it because this is like the main structure done, but there's really not much to it. It's literally just cutting out pieces of craft foam and hot gluing them together, and then just hot gluing the strips of fabric over the seams again, which I don't think you really need to do. I just do it so it's a bit more secure. So yeah, this is just one piece on either side. These eyes are in the wrong place at the moment as well, by the way. They're not going to be there in the end. And then just like a long tapered piece at the top and bottom. And then, yeah, hand goes in like this. It's a bit big, I need to add something to help that out. I've made a pattern for the legs as well, and I'm about to go and test that out. It's going to be basically the same method as this, to be honest. But I will see how that goes. And also I haven't cleaned my room at all, so everyone's really proud of me. I'm not. Alright, I've been working on the legs today, and they're going alright. So I'm going to show the kind of, I've got 2 of them. So I've decided to only give him 2 legs, just the front and back on the side that's going to be facing out, because if I put them on the other side they're just going to dig into me and no one's going to see them anyway, so I'm just going to put them on this side. So these are the legs. I'll show you the half done one first. Again, like I said, everything's the same method. It's just like craft foam, hot glued together. So I just made a paper pattern and what I thought would work based on the size of the body, and cut all that out and then started gluing it together, and then I kind of realised where things needed to be different. So like I realised I needed to put another panel in the front here and things to make it look like I wanted it to. So this is the top, kind of like the thigh section, and this is the lower bit, like the calf, I guess. And they're not together because, as I'll show you here, I've just hot glued wire to the seams to make a little knee joint so that can be bent into whatever shape it needs to be, because I'm going to have it kind of lying down. So it's going to have its kind of knees bent in a lying down position. So just put that wire in, and I think that's going to work. I think once that's more fleshed out and everything, that should look alright. So that wire is just hot glued on. I might hot glue some fabric over it as well, but it's looking pretty secure. I also put bits of wire at the top here because I'm going to kind of puncture through the body with that, so I can join it on, and also just a few little ones at the bottom because I'm going to put in some hooves, and I think they're going to help joining that on. As you can see, there's only 2 pieces of wire now, one on the front and one on the back. There was 3, as you can see here, but I cut it off. I cut it down because it's getting in the way, and I think it's better with 2. So that might need a bit of alteration when I go to put fabric on it, because I don't really know what's going to happen when I do that, but we'll see. So that's how that's going for now. You can kind of see what it's going to look like a little bit. I was planning to make it out of just white fleece, but I went to the shop in my town, the fabric shop, and they didn't have any. But they had this, and it's only like £1 more expensive than the fleece was anyway. And so I decided to get it. It's a little bit longer than I intended because horsehair isn't normally this kind of long and shaggy, but I think because it's like a baby unicorn, it'll be more acceptable. I also got this. This is just tulle, purple and pink. This is going to be for the mane and tail. I just got a metre of each. I'm using tulle because it doesn't fray when you cut it, and I'm going to be cutting it into lots of long strips, and if I had to hem all of them I'd probably die. So I got this. So I finished the other leg, his back leg. I don't know if I said this before, but just like remember when you're making the legs that the front legs bend inwards and the back legs bend outwards, because for a long time I was doing them both this way, and then when I put them on I was like, why does it just not look quite right? But it's because the back legs bend backwards. So I've done them, and I've also just glued across the tops here, and I've also marked on the unicorn where they're going to kind of line up, and as you might notice, I've started putting the fur on. Well, I've not put it on yet, but I've like started cutting out pieces and things. So I basically just kept all the like pattern pieces that I had when I made the craft foam pieces, and I just recut them all out and sewed them together. Well, I've not done all of them yet, I've just done the sides, and I've just been recutting them out and doing them along the same seams to basically make the cover, which is working fine. I've also been doing some experimenting with the neck. It's literally just like a long piece of fabric, so I basically measured the it's so hard to show. I basically measured the opening of the front of the body and around the opening of the head, and then made a kind of like triangle shape going from the measurement of the body to the measurement of the head. So it's like a big, yeah, like triangle. And then cut that out, really easy, sewed it together, and I've just pinned it on here. It actually looks fine, I think, but I'm going to wait until I've covered the head, which will be done the same way as this, and I've got a bit more of it together before I properly put the neck on and sew it down, because it looks like it might be a little bit too big at the moment. It's proving quite difficult to kind of get the size right, and it's looking like it might be a little bit too big. So I've started on putting fabric on things and making them all furry, which is nice. So I've done the body and the head. They're done in pretty much the same way. They're just literally the pieces that I showed before have now been sewn together. So I just hand sewed. You probably could machine sew. I also found it easier to like actually pin the pieces onto the structure inside out, and then like pinch it together and sew against the actual body, especially with like this back piece here and the top piece. That just made sure that it was a really nice fit. And the head is done very much the same process, but this one's a little bit more finished. Again, just hand sewed the pieces together against the structure. I've put a little bit of hot glue around the eyes and nose, and I'm going to put a little bit in around here just to secure it down. And I've also cut out holes where the eyes are going to be in the nose. I put a little bit of fabric in there, but I'm going to paint it. So I cut out holes with that. And on the other side I tried to make them as even as possible. And also he's got a little ear. Just one. So I started making the ears. So they're just a craft foam little triangle piece that you kind of fold the insides together. I'll show you one of the ones that, the other one that's not as finished as this yet. And then I hot glued some wire all across down the back, and going right down, and poked it through, and it's poking out here now, and I'm going to hot glue them down to secure it. And because it's wire, it means you can kind of move it around a bit, even once it's glued down, hopefully. And I have the eye here for the eyes. I'm just using these, there you go. I'm literally using like little acrylic beads with some fake eyelashes on them, because I tried it and I'm like, hey, that looks cute, let's use it. So do something like that. And the horn, how's that coming on? It's cool. It looks like this. It's just two pieces of EVA foam, cut in a triangle, glued together with some wire down the middle, and then I just kind of cut off some of the square angles and edges to make it a little bit more round and more horn shaped. And then I have some warbler left over from an old project that I did that I'm gonna use to make the kind of swirls around it, so that's why it's not super neat and beautiful. So this is one of the unfinished ears. As you can see, it's like the ear shape just going straight down, and then these were cut in half and like folded over each other to make this little 3D kind of shape. And then it's got wire hot glued just down the back with a lot of it. This is way too much excess, I'm gonna have to trim some of that down. That's a bit ridiculous, but yeah. And then like the fur is just hot glued across there. I probably should have painted them first, because you can kind of see the green through them, not gonna lie. But you know what, it's too late now. I basically painted the body and these bits because, as I said before, the fabric's kind of thin, so you can like see the colour through a little bit. And I've done the same to the legs here. See the inside of his ears are like pinkish reddish colour now, and his nose has got a little bit of that inside. They look really black on this, but in reality they don't look too bad. The horn, we worked on the horn. I don't really like it very much, and I am going to work on it a bit more. I used strips of warbler to do like the little ridges around it. It didn't work amazingly well because I've never really used warbler like this before. But I was like, oh, I'll fix it with painting, and then I painted it and it didn't really look very good. So it's just like this for now. But I think I'm gonna work on this a little bit more because it's pretty ugly, really. Anything else? The eyes? They look so scary like this. I'm so sorry. Finally! Why? Look at that. Wow. This is gonna be his mane. So this is just the tool that I showed a while ago. I just cut it all into strips. I didn't measure the strips. Like, some of them are like 1 inch thick, some of them are extremely thin. And I just tied them all around a piece of string. I managed to finish off the horn. Okay, so I didn't like it as it was before, so I just kind of made it a lot paler. And then I used some like glittery nail polish that I found and just went over it. And it's made it all sparkly and shiny, and I like it, it's nice. And then that's just been glued in. There's a little bit of glue just directly underneath it. Just cut out a little hole for it to go there. And then underneath, I've just poked the wire through underneath and put loads of hot glue down to secure that, and it's staying nicely. It's not wobbling about, not coming off anywhere. I've also glued in the eyes. So these just, I haven't changed them at all, I've just glued them in. So that's the head progress for now. I still haven't sewn down the ears. Ha 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 ha. I sewed up the neck piece. I don't know if I showed this earlier, but it's just a long strip. I sewed it up. And I've also worked on the legs. Let's talk about legs. Wow. So this is, you remember the legs look like this. So I just measured around this top section, around this bottom section, and then the length around the knee joint. And I cut out a kind of trapezium shape of fabric according to that, with a lot of excess on it. So it looks a bit like this. It's way too long because I want to have a lot of extra to fold over so I can join it neatly to the body and things. Then I literally just sewed that in half, sewed it into a tube around the leg, and it looks fine. I thought it might need some altering and some little like adjustments, but it actually looks fine. You can see I've just sewed it along the back. I found it easier to put it on the leg right side out and then just hand sew across the back because, well, for one, it's really easy to cover up messy stitching with the fake fur, and also it's at the back, it's not going to be seen. So I've just managed to get her legs on today. This isn't the best angle to be kind of showing them at, but I did exactly the same for the other leg that I hadn't done earlier. I just sewed the fabric around it, and then I kind of punched holes through the fabric and the foam based on where I marked out earlier, and try and show this as best I can. I just kind of poked the wire through those holes, folded it over, and used loads of hot glue to secure it down. So that's actually worked well. It's pretty secure. Other leg's just the same. And then I just left lots of excess fabric up at the top, so I've just folded some of that over, and I'm going to hand sew it down. So that's going pretty well. Alright, last night I managed to sew the neck on, which is really good, and that makes it look kind of more finished now, which is great. Although the proportions and things look kind of strange when it's flat. There's really not much to say about the sewing on of the neck. I just sewed it onto the body first and just pinned it and then folded over and did a little whip stitch in place, and then I'm kind of fluffing the fur out so it'll cover up the stitches. And I didn't sew it all the way on the back just so I can stick my arm through. I basically left most of the back completely open, and that works fine. Oh, I also hot glued the bottom onto the bottom of the body as well. And the top, exactly the same. It's just folded over and hand stitched onto the neck. There's a little hole there where I've forgotten to do it. That's good. Yeah, it's just hand stitched. So, Unicorn Baby is pretty much finished now. There is some more stuff that I could do to finish her that I would kind of like to do, but I'm in a little bit of a time dilemma, if that's what you want to call it. I have time to finish her completely. I only really have today to finish everything, and so this is kind of like, I'm happy with her now. There's just a few things that I would have done if I had more time. So the final touches, I've sewn on the mane and tail. They look fine, but in hindsight I probably wouldn't use tulle again for something like this. Like for the fire in my Howl's Moving Castle dress, they worked really great, because when they're all bunched up like this, it looks really nice. But when they're kind of dangling to represent hair, they just don't look as good, and they just keep catching together and they just turn into like a big curly mess, and it's really hard to straighten them out. And there's probably a better way I could have worked with it, to be honest, but I probably wouldn't use it again for a mane or tail like this because it's just annoying. And I think the other thing is the hooves. I've given little hooves. They're just super basic. They're just little circles of EVA foam that I've cut out and glued on. There's just 3 little circles and the wires going through the centre of them. Again, I would have painted them black and maybe use my Dremel to sand them down a bit, but I don't have as much time as I'd like. But yeah, she's done for now. So that's cute. That's good. You can tell when I've been like making something, because throughout the videos I've got like progressively more scarred up hands, which is fine. It's, you know, the price you gotta pay. The price you gotta pay for that. Whoa, who's that? It's me. Hello. Thank you for watching my video. It's very nice of you. Sorry I didn't make anything in a long time. It's because these things take a long time to make and I don't always have the time. I need to think of some more like smaller things that I can make that won't take forever for me to make a video for. So yeah, sorry about that, but thank you for everyone who has subscribed in the meantime and left me lovely comments on other videos. It's very nice of you. So yeah, hopefully I'll make some more videos soon. It'll be cool. I'll try and do some fun things. But thank you for watching. It's very nice of you. Appreciate you very much. Okay, bye.